All right. There's this thing called the Poetry World Cup, where people from all over the world get together and compete by performing poetry. In 2012, this dude named Harry Baker won, which was great for him because he's gotten to travel the whole world since, doing all sorts of things. But that also means that the piece that he used, which I am about to perform for you, is technically one of the best poems in the world. So this is called Paper People. I like people. I'd like some paper people. They'd be purple paper people, pop-up purple paper people, proper pop-up purple paper people. But how do you prop up proper pop-up purple paper people? I hear you cry. Well, I would probably prop the proper pop-up purple paper people with the proper pop-up purple paper people paper clip, but I would pre-prepare adhesives as alternatives, a cheeky pack of blue tack in case the paper slipped, because I could build a pop-up metropolis, but I wouldn't want to deal with all this paper politics. Paper politicians with their paper-thin policies and broken promises without appropriate apologies. There would be a little paper me and a little paper you, and we could watch paper TV and it'd all be pay-per-view, and we'd see the poppy paper rappers rap about the paper package, or watch paper people carriers get stuck on paper traffic on the A4. There'd be a paper princess cape-wheeled stare, a paper pepper, and we'd all live in the fear of Killer Jack the Paper Ripper, because the people's propaganda propagates the people's prejudice, and the paper printed pictures of the photogenic terrorists, a little paper me, and a little paper you. But in the pop-up populations, people's problems pop up too. There'd be a pompous paper parliament that remained out of touch, that ignored the people's protests about all the paper cuts, and the peaceful paper protests would get blown to paper pieces from the confetti cannons armed by the preventive police. And there'd still be paper money, so there would still be paper greed, and the paper piggy bankers pocketing more than they need, purchasing the potpourri to pepper up their property, while others live in poverty and aren't acknowledged properly, while their needs go ignored. All the money goes to big wars and origami armies, unfold plans for paper planes, and we remain imprisoned in our own paper chains. But the greater shame is that it always seems to stay the same, and what changes is who's in power and chooses how to lay the blame. They're naming names, forgetting that these are the names of people. And now I like people, because even when the situation's dire, it's only ever people who are able to inspire. But on paper, it's hard to see how we all cope. But at the bottom of Pandora's box, there's still hope, and I still hope because I believe in people. People like my grandparents who have taken time out of their day to pray for me. That is 6,052 days straight, someone checking that I am okay, and that is amazing. People like my aunt who puts on plays with prisoners, people who are capable of genuine forgiveness, people like the persecuted Palestinians, people who go out of their way to make your life better and expect nothing in return. You see, people have the potential to be powerful. But just because those in power pretend to be victims doesn't mean that we have to succumb to that system. There is a little paper me and a little paper you, but in the populations, people's problems pop up too, but the whole world could fall apart and we'd still make it through because we're people. Thank you.